friends. Hope you're doing well. I've got fun Mountain Dew today. It was my birthday yesterday, so I bought a pack of Mountain Dew Spark Zero. I also got a pack of Zevia at Costco, so we'll bring in the Zevias back soon. But for now, boom, Mountain Dew. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about hockey training, training hockey at home. So I've been reading a lot of books. A lot is three, not that many, but I've done a lot of research, been looking at some blogs, been watching a lot of YouTube, been reading the books that have the scientific studies, and I've kind of come to the conclusion that you can kind of simplify off-ice hockey training to a large degree with just a couple movements. So I think when we look at off-ice hockey training, it seems like the best things you can do are single leg work, grip work, and rotational power. So grip work is going to be a lot of stick stuff, stick handlings, shooting. A lot of that's coming from your forearms. You can get grippers. I don't have any within reach. You can use rubber bands to do extensor exercises, and then you can also get like Indian clubs or heavy steel clubs. So if you pretend so think of this as like any kind of weight, you'd want to flex it. So you think about all the directions the wrist can move. So we got this, in, out, up, back, and then the opposite, up, back. So like that will get your wrists good. Anything that you have to hold on to, so heavy clubs, swinging, kettlebells, steel mace, steel clubs, all that stuff's good. And then for rotational power, again, steel clubs and mace, because you can get a lot of rotational torque, and that's going to be super good for your shot and your skating power. And then single leg most of hockey is single leg balance. Most of the time you don't have the puck, you're skating to and from the puck, so you need those strong legs. And so kind of that's really where the main focus is. I'm really dry today, sorry. So when we think about that, we've got a couple muscles to hit. So going from the ground up, we've got the tibialis, which is on the front of the shin. We've got the calves, which are on the back. Then we've got the quads on the front. We've got the hamstrings on the back. We've got the glutes on the back, and then the hip flexors in the front. So you can hit almost all of these with one piece of equipment at home, and it's this thing called the monkey foot or monkey feet. So kind of how it works is a dumbbell goes in here, and then this latches on the dumbbell, and then this is like a boot that goes on your foot. So you can do hip flexors by just raising up, high knees with this thing. You could do seated leg extensions to hit the quads. You could do curls to hit the hamstrings. So you got all that going for you. And then for the tibialis, you'll have to do like a tibialis raise, calf raise. So tibialis raise is lean against the wall, stick your legs out 45 degrees, and raise your toes up off the ground. Calf raise is obviously the opposite. And then for glutes, the hip thrust is probably the best thing. You can also get something called a tib bar to work your tibs if you want to load it. And the guy who's kind of brought this all back to popularity in the recent, 2-3 years, his name's Knees Over Toes guy, Ben Patrick. He's making a monkey foot competitor that will let you do tib raises too. So the tibs, hips, quads, and hamstrings, which was really cool. And it'll use weight plates on it. So that's pretty neat. I'm really excited for when that comes out. I'll probably get one, because then it's just, you strap one thing on your foot, you do the gambit of exercises, you take it off, you strap it on the other foot, you do that gambit of exercises, boom. You knock out a whole lot of stuff without switching gear. Super small footprint. I like it. It seems really good, really interesting. You progressive overload with it. Awesome. It's all great. Of course, you could do a lot of this stuff at home, like without equipment. Squats are going to be big. You could do like hamstring bridges, which are kind of like glute bridges, except you put your legs out a little further. So if you know what a glute bridge is, you think you just stand like this, and then you kind of force yourself up, squeezing the glutes. But if you just put the legs out a little further and you have your toes up, so you're just on your heels and kind of drive, you'll feel it more in the hamstrings. Quads and glutes can be squats. Any kind of lunge variation, got that going for you. Hip flexors are a little harder to work. You can just do high knees. You just got to do a shitload of reps, and there's really no progressive overload. Same with, I've seen, actually, take it back. You could probably do loaded marches, which is you just holding dumbbells or kettlebells at your side, and then high knees, so that should hit that with progressive overload. Dips and calf raises, you can just hold weights while you do them. So boom, there you go. That's hockey training in a nutshell. And then sprinting, just doing like 10-yard sprints, and also doing agility sprinting, which would be like sprint 5 yards, shuffle one direction, sprint another 5 yards. So you sprint 5 yards, you shuffle 3 steps, and then boom, 5 yards. Or you could sprint, you could backpedal 5 yards and then sprint forward 10 yards. That'd be another option. Just think about change of direction, and just don't go over 10-15 yards in any one sprint, and make sure you're fresh for every sprint. And then after that, it's just skill work. And so things like the super deker, which I have down here. I don't think you can see it if I showed you. Boom, super deker. It's a little hockey game that like has a light up, and you put the puck over where it lit up. Focus on my face. Look at my face. Look at this. Push focus. There we go. It's a lot of fun. I've been loving it. I bought it used, and I got it for about half price. And after having it now for a couple weeks, I think I would pay full price for it. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun, and it will get you stick handling every single day. Promise. But you can also just stick handle. You don't need a fancy $300 game. Unless you can find one used, then great, buy one. If you can find it used and it works, I super love it. Yeah, that's kind of it. Hockey training it's very, hockey is a super complex sport, but like the reality of the sport is your strength. Like, you don't have to be the strongest guy to be a really good hockey player. It's all about relative strength to a large degree, and that being overly strong, overly big, especially if you're not playing contact hockey like I am. I'm not playing contact hockey, I'm playing old man beer league. Being extra big doesn't give you a ton of advantages. And so being smaller, you can skate faster, you can probably change direction a little better. There's a lot of benefit there, so think about that. So you don't want to get big, if you're playing hockey in general, unless you're like the Tom Wilson of your team, that you're just going out to crush people. Then yeah, maybe you want to put on a little extra muscle. But for most people, that's not really the move. You kind of want to find that balance of mobility and strength and power, and that's going to come down to you're thinking like, I don't know enough about stock car to say you want to be like a stock car. It's like shedding weight is important. So maybe it's more like a racehorse. Weight is definitely a factor, and more strength, more power is not necessarily better. Better technique, is better. More stamina, more muscle endurance. So you kind of want to train higher reps with medium intensity weights. So that's kind of what I've been learning, and so I think I've been going through. I've read 3-4 books now. Got some workout plans from some premium hockey specific training coaching, and I think when it comes down to it, I think if you got a kettlebell especially like an adjustable one, a nice adjustable one, which I'm seeing they're like sold out everywhere, like the good, nice adjustable ones, because they're a newer product. And then you focused on swings, the Turkish get up, squats, clean and presses, and loaded carries. That would probably put you ahead of like 90% of the people you're playing against, unless you're in a super high-end league, and at that point, you probably have a strength and conditioning coach, and go listen to him, not some dipshit on YouTube who's like a C-level beer leaguer. So, that's the advice there. And then, of course, you want to find a place where you can shoot pucks. I've set up puck shooting in my old apartment. I don't know if I ever showed any videos of that, but basically what I did was I had a cheap photography backdrop stand. I got it for like $30-40 on Amazon, and then I hung painter's tarp on it, and then I put a bunch of workout mats below it. So you'd have a shooting tile, you'd shoot the puck, it would hit the tarp, and it would fall onto the workout mat, so it wouldn't make a big, thud noise on the floor to piss off the downstairs neighbors, and they never complained about it. So, I probably put thousands of bucks into that tarp, and now it lives in my garage, and now I have a garage where I can actually shoot some real pucks at a net that I got for pretty cheap. It was like $40 used on Facebook Market, and that's been probably fired another 4,000 or 5,000 shots into that thing too. So yeah, training's going pretty good. We're about 10 weeks out from hockey. As I talked about yesterday, got doctor, and also side note, it was my birthday yesterday, and today I had to say my birth date because I talked to my doctor again, and I talked to the pharmacist. Like, I talked to like 4 different people with like date of birth, and I gave it, and it was my birthday, and I was like August 29th, and now one of those fuckers wished me a happy birthday. What's that about? Come on. Anyway, side so yeah, my doctor says I got high cholesterol, so I'm focusing on eating better, which I was going to anyway for the hockey, to get better at hockey, but now it's like, okay, I'm on like 5 different meds now. Like, I don't like that. I want to get off these meds. So it's time to take this shit seriously. The problem is, when you have a high cholesterol and you have diabetes, everything they tell you to eat for diabetes is everything they tell you not to eat for high cholesterol. So there's like a small gap that I can it's like vegetables and like plant-based proteins. So it's like, do I go vegan at this point? I don't, you can have fish, but like then I see reports that are like, oh, if you eat too much tuna, it's got too much mercury in it, it's gonna kill you. It's like, fuck, okay. So I've kind of like drawn a line of like, okay, I can have chicken, like, because like chicken, turkey, I can replace almost all the red meat with turkey burgers instead. Turkey, taco meat, and chicken. And it's like, that should still be enough of a swing with these meds to get that shit down, and move me in the right direction. And it's like, okay, if also mix in the alternatives. But part of the problem is that those alternatives are expensive. To get tofu, I bought about a pound of tofu, and it was only about $3 today, so that's not too bad. That's actually cheaper than ground beef, I think. It's very similar right now anyway. But when ground beef is cheaper, it's a pound for like $3. Although right now, because of supply issues or whatever, ground beef is like a pound for like $5. So right now tofu is cheaper, I guess. So I guess that's nice. But then like if you get like the pre-made vegan alternative chicken things, those can get pricey fast. And so it's like, okay, maybe mixing in a couple of those a week with mostly chicken, mostly turkey, keeping the fried foods out for cheat meals, keeping the candy out, and then focusing on fruits, veggies. Gonna clean this shit up, and that should help me lose some body fat, which should increase my relative strength by a lot, so I'll be able to fly out on the ice and make this year a good one. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm excited about. That's what's, I talked about yesterday. I talked yesterday about, I'm 36 now. This is my birthday this year. I'm going to focus on stuff that gasses me up. And, like, that's training for hockey. That's, like, getting on the ice and kicking ass. That's, like, making these videos. So I want more of that in my life, and we're gonna manifest that this year. So I hope you'll join me, and I hope maybe this is motivating you to go fucking work out or whatever. Or maybe it's just something that helps you sleep. I don't care. Either way, thank you for watching me ramble about whatever dumb bullshit I have on my head. And we'll be getting back into hockey Let's Plays soon. Because I got a lot of pre-made ones, and I'm starting to film new ones. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for you to see, especially from the ones that I've currently been posting are from like 2-3 years ago, and I've gotten a lot better. So hopefully you notice that very stark difference of like, okay, here's the new ones. But until then, I hope you're doing well, and if not, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.